Hi, collective. We have the Five of Swords. Oh, okay. Well, let me just let me take a step back because I'm using the wonderful Pride Tarot deck, and I actually found the Mahogany Tarot deck guidebook in this box because I guess I was using both decks at the same time. But sorry about that. Yeah, so basically, okay, we have the Five of Swords, but, Five of Swords. Let me read into the Pride Tarot guidebook about the Five of Swords. By the way, if I, didn't show you that properly, my apologies. But let me look. Five of Swords. Five of Swords. Okay, yeah. So you may have experienced some bullying or narcissism. Traditionally, the card focuses on the individual who seems to have been the aggressor, who is separated from the group. In this Five of Swords, the victor is now the person who has suffered injustices and hostility. Hells yeah. So basically, that's you. Like, you've suffered injustices and hostility, but you've come out victorious. And here he has distanced himself by overcoming abuse, trauma, and prejudice. I want to illustrate a black trend. This is like perfect timing, actually. It's so crazy how the cards and everything corresponds. Despite, not having a chip in my brain, God is omnipresent and is there to take care of us. So here he has distanced himself by overcoming abuse, trauma, and prejudice. And I wanted to illustrate a black trans individual overcoming those very obstacles and coming out on top. Those two figures in the background are the very manifestations of bullying and oppression that trans people, specifically trans people of color, deal with on a daily basis. And I want to show you this because I put it back in the deck. But do you notice how these shadowy figures, they're cowards? All right, these people are actual straight up cowards, and that's why you're not just victorious today. You're always gonna remain victorious in the eyes of God and in yourself as well, because that's the thing. When you've been through traumatic experiences and abuse, and don't gaslight yourself, okay? Because then I know it's easy for us empaths to, I sense whoever I'm talking to here is a beautiful energy and a beautiful soul, and just trying to find some solace in the path that they were chosen for, right? So basically, you do have a destiny in life. You do have this 333 on the timer. I kid you not. You do have a purpose, and you also have so many people backing you. Despite those shadowy figures here, the reason those swords are behind you and not in you, and they're in the ground pretty much, is because those bullshitters can't even hold their swords properly. They're fumbling. They're fumbling around and shit, and it's just kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? It's you're doing everything, and don't worry about the anxiety that comes up when you think something is happening, because I promise you it's actually it's not happening, because these cowards tried to make you think these things were actually happening when they're not happening. You know what I'm saying? And again, take it as it resonates, because that could, I want to validate the things that you do know are happening, and then the things that you know aren't, so that's, you take what resonates. And then I also wanted to bring attention to this, really freaking, hold on, because I think my computer just froze. But you know what? I'm just gonna continue on, because Um, maybe this is cool, honestly, because I really did want to take my time with the Pride Tarot deck, and just like acknowledge that, because I want to go through. I've told you all of you folks this before on my channel, but I want to go through all of these cards and kind of just see. I did come across Robin Scott as one of the like authors that I saw pretty frequently so far when I just kind of did my search, and she's a transgender woman, a feminist, and a rat. I think my favorite part about Robin Scott's like blurb that I saw was that she's a radical optimist, and yeah, I just wanted to bring attention to her, because she's one of the artists for the deck, and I saw her pretty frequently so far. So there's like 100 something people for this deck. I freaking love this deck. That's why I don't really use it that much, because I kind of want to take my time kind of explaining everything that I can. When I do a video, I end up doing a video, sometimes you just kind of just end up doing it, but, I definitely do want to like take my time with this deck as much as I can, because it's such a beautifully well done deck. And I think we should really all take our time, with a lot of things, because I think that's also the reason these cowards pop up sometimes. But again, you're victorious, but I just think that that's the reason a lot of the time these things do happen, right? It's because, that give me 1 second, y'all, folks. Yeah, and then, you can't see this, but, the Two of Pentacles is also showing, so we're going to read about that as well. But yeah, just like real, I love how the Five of Swords, I feel like this actually came out in the first reading as well that I ever did. And I think it just goes to show how much people of color, in general are oppressed, but especially like trans people of color are just, because not only are you not accepted, right, by like white, like cis heteronormative like quote unquote majority, right, but then also because of imperialism, etc., that kind of worsened the damage through slavery in many tribal areas and different ethnic countries whose people of color's like roots kind of date back like really far historically, and we're heavily progressive in a lot of areas, and I feel like those already marginalized peoples in their own community were just damaged further by this Eurocentricity and like feudalistic behavior, and by kind of like the from the people that like perpetuate the systemic racism and like white supremacy and Eurocentricity in our modern day society. That shit dates way back, and the hurt is so deep, I feel like, at this point, that I just feel like it's so frustrating, because it's just so crazy that it's still in existence. You know what I'm saying? So I just am so grateful that there's a card like the Five of Swords, bringing attention to like a black trans person, and in general like people of color, melanated trans people of color. Like, it's very important that we're seen, and I feel like it's oftentimes, I honestly feel like the people who haven't come out yet, because I know how scary that transition can be. And like, personally for me, I feel like I still have a lot of growing to do and understanding, but we're not gonna like talk about me right now, because I feel like y'all have been through it. But I guess what I meant to just say is kind of accepting myself and even coming out this far was a journey in itself, and there's still much more to go, but it was so exciting and so promising to actually be able to come out to people, and also just know that the universe kind of accepts all sides of who I am, like my trans identity as well as my like my Vedic ancestry and things like that, so I just think that it's just really awesome to know that, like, the pain can be seen in both. It's obviously not awesome to have pain, but the more it's discussed and the more people truly do recognize it, I feel like we can all be free, So, yeah, the pain in the kind of slavery that my people experienced, and the pain, and also the LGBTQ community aspect of it, and like in different cultures it's called different things, like I think it also depends on the person you're talking to, like whether a term is like offensive or not and stuff, but LGBTQ is like and like is the term that we use in the United States, right? But then you have different terms for it in a lot of these tribal and in a lot of like tribal backgrounds, and a lot of our kind of roots that really go pretty far back, so that's kind of what I wanted to say, kind of in terms of like just the climate and everything right now, and the importance of that and stuff like that. And so we have the Six of Cups and the Seven of Cups, Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands. Okay. Oh wow, and the camera's back. Very cool. So here, I'll just turn this way. So Knight of Wands, Eight of Wands. I love this already. Gabby August West, Eight of Wands. Knight of Wands, illustrated by Anita in Variety. I love that. Okay. Oh my god, yeah, I freaking love all of these, honestly. Gabby Angus West, this is such a cool, and I love the messages on this. I love that there's like some melanin on this card as well. Super important to show like that, that existence is so omnipresent, and yeah, like it's so beautiful as well. So yeah, the Six of Cups, illustrated by Leonard Jim Narcisco, and then we have Lisa Hunt for the Seven of Cups here. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I love this. Wow, look at the Anita in Variety, Knight of Wands. Like, look at the beauty in like the just the artwork and the design and the intricacy of this kind of quilted image. I mean, all of these, like just love the messenger. And it's like, that's also, there's like love messages here as well. So the Eight of Wands traditionally, I know, in like the Rider-Waite Tarot, based off kind of just my general knowledge of, from what I remember, it does represent communication. And it also does represent fire in the original. Don't gaslight yourself though, and just think of the traumatic experience and the I feel, because I just felt multiple traumas in this reading, and so I just want to point out, like, this has love on it, so don't gaslight yourself into thinking the communication is coming from people who claim to love you but like don't love you in the way that you want to be loved. This is from a person or multiple people, but it looks like this person has multiple admirers. Also, you might live in kind of an area that has cacti, or something, right? And floral decoration and things like that. And maybe this is kind of your colors as well: red, orange, white, and black, and green, and this kind of ethereal blue as well. So that may be important to somebody as well. And then you have the yellow kind of sticking out of the envelopes, which I think it reminds you of kind of the radical optimism of Robin Scott's profile, where because I know from the Mahogany Tarot deck, like, the yellow is representative of joy, and I just feel like that's really important too. And then so it's joyful love from a person who is communicating genuinely, lovingly, and loves you. Okay, so that you want. Okay, cool. And again, like, there's we're gonna get clarification, and there's, just understand that, yeah, of course there are gonna be negative energies, but at the same time, the true, genuine, of course, but that real love, it can't really be denied at the end of the day, so yeah. So let's look at the Eight of Wands in the guidebook. My hands are a bit sweaty right now, so I don't even want to touch the book completely because I just feel like it's so beautiful. But okay. Yeah, cards depicts messages dispatched or received with great purpose. So beautiful. Okay, so Knight of Wands. We're gonna go into that as well. I also love how, ambiguous but, very detailed kind of gender, the fact that this is a queer deck, it's just so beautiful, because I feel like you can really look at a lot of these images and really just see the beauty in 448 on the clock as well. So there's so much ancestral, angelic, whatever you kind of want to call it, in terms of the protection that you receive, whomever you pray to, that's your business, so the Knight may appear to call on you to ignite compassion, to actively stand up for your rights or those of others. The opportunity may be there to advocate, to arbitrate, and to truly make a difference. The smallest of actions may have global implications for yourself and wider humanity, which is so funny because I'm actually wearing my, world shirt right now. I don't know if you can really see world, yeah. So, again, the synchronicities are practically everywhere when you're tapped in. So yeah, I don't mean tapped when you don't want to be tapped type of thing, but yeah, when you yourself are tapped in. Okay, so the opportunity may be there to advocate, to arbitrate. The smallest of actions. Be confident that the people are ready to take notice and listen intently to what you have to say when the message is one of passion, power, and positivity. Because passion and positivity are both just wonderful things. So I feel like people really do gravitate easily towards those things because, it's warm and it's nice. And after so much brutality over, oh my God, not just whatever generation we're in right now, but just years and years and years of systemic racism and, Eurocentricity and in Vedic ancestry, there was a lot, one of the real big frustrations, although there was like inward slavery, as you would call it, was the fact that, oh my god, I just lost my train of thought completely. I guess my point was that there was just kind of even kind of further and if not like major damage done by like by like outside kind of forces at that time, like with you know my mind is like just completely blanking right now, and it's like passion, power, and positivity. So I guess I have to power on as well. But yeah, like again, like a lot of these issues were like not only perpetuated but like instigated as well by those who tried to mentally manipulate people who were already going through it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of similar to like the LGBT community and things like that, like and like what people of color have to deal with in the LGBT community as well, like as well as outside of it. Like just I think that there's like a reason that oftentimes we have to create our own safe space, because sometimes like as much as people try to convince you that something is or isn't, wow, 222 just went on the timer. That is, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is, but it means that we're entering a period, like a large, long period of peace, is what I just got as a channeled message from Spirit. A long, long period of peace. And I think people are also recognizing how much they did hurt you, and for what is also what I'm hearing from Spirit. Like, for what? Nothing to gain. Nothing to gain. Right? That's why they're all shadowy figures in the background, right? And who tried to manipulate you into thinking that you were the problem, and it's like, no. Nah. Nah, I'm good. So, like, let's go to the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I got, like, sweat on this book a little bit already. But seriously, like, I really love this deck so much. I really don't... Spirit, please stop me from getting any more sweat on this book, okay? Alright, so Seven of Cups is a card of choices, visions, illusions, and daydreams. My teen daughter, Kyra, posed for this painting and beautifully captured the feeling of the card with her expressive countenance and hand. Oh wow, okay, so Lisa Hunt's daughter was the muse behind the card. The Seven of Cups card warns you not to take on too much or have unrealistic expectations. So it's basically letting you know, like, that things definitely are on their way to change, but just know that, that there is certain protocol or whatever. And even that protocol will also get more flexible, right? It's already becoming more flexible, right? But it's just like, always, shoot high for sure, but just understand that there's a reason you're shooting high, because, oh my god, I love this Two of Pentacles. I'm going to bring it out again. But it's just so queer, and it's just so beautiful. And yeah, I just love how the pentacles are like perfectly placed also in like the right positions kind of above but not touching the body, which is just goes to show also like everything flows nicely, like even materialistic gains and things. The reason that we have to, you know, the reason those like that's the thing. I feel like sometimes people get so greedy for money and things like that, in the capitalistic system that we live in right now. We forget that money flows naturally when we allow it to, right? So we have to give it that space, just like it's not touching the body in this picture, right? So we have to allow money even that space to flow. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll even have like a different currency, and instead of all this cis white, or quote unquote cis white heteronormative, who knows if they were closeted, right? But like all these people that are on our money, that are just not they're kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, like James Ford and all the old kind of like just historical figures, and like George Washington, and I mean at least they were like wigs, right? So that was kind of fluid. But like anyway, like all of the kind of white like cis men, I feel like maybe even that will change, but yeah, I mean again, it's like it's the future and stuff, so it takes time to reach that, but of course shoot for like what you feel comfortable kind of shooting for, which is, if that's high, then really awesome. If that's medium, that's cool too, because it depends on where you're at, so. But if you're shooting really high, like, I really commend you, because I do feel like I'm talking to a group here that is just so radically efficient, and in such a positive way, and in a way that where you're able to breathe and take breaks, and like I said, this 222, I think it is signifying a long period of peace. Did we read the Two of Pentacles earlier? But I don't know. I feel like maybe Spirit, and I love how the foot is kind of on this heart, and it's kind of like love is kind of propelling this person kind of upwards and onwards to better pastures, And yeah, that's pretty much it for the reading. Yeah, as always, I love you, and bless.